What it do, man? What's that? You got that prime again,
Still looking every week, man. Every week. Send the damn email already.
right? Where are you guys? Where's Prime? You guys are busy.
Last I saw, they're playing with Tyreek Hill, so we're not in
Ah,
that. We're just we're not in that league of
soon,
yes, but maybe
soon.
I got this damn thing off.
Well, welcome to the Crucible, everybody. Anybody watching? Anybody at home? Anybody listening on the podcast?
Hello and welcome.
I'm Emil.
I am Pauly. Yes.
Mid puff. So,
So go ahead, man. Listen,
uh,
we talked about what last week? Run it
yeah,
down.
that's. I was just gonna say. Last week we had a pretty hot topic. If you're watching the markets, you know that metals are kind of. They're not only are they going crazy, but they are holding. They are holding their prices. Maybe not
Yes.
at their peak, but they are way above what they were 2, 3 weeks ago. So that's kind of an impressive thing. Last week's topic, we were talking about the FOMO in when to buy. Do you buy? Do you buy on the hype? Do you buy on the upswing?
What we
Will
bought,
it go
kind of we gave
higher? Yeah,
examples. We gave examples of something that we thought we might have missed out on or didn't want to miss out on. So the last video, if you haven't checked that one, you should probably check that one out as well.
for sure, for sure. And so today we wanted to talk about the flip side of that topic, right? So the savvy investor is going to realize that when everyone's buying, that's the time to sell, right? You be the
Some
salesman.
would say yes, some would
Yeah.
say yes, and some would say you're completely
Hold out for
idiotic.
more.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
completely idiotic. Why would you do that? Why would you sell your stuff?
Time in hands,
Ah,
never sell.
right, right. It's coming to the grave with me. Well,
Paul, you
that's all fun and dandy, right? It's all fine and
yeah.
dandy. Yeah, anybody can say what they want to say, right?
Now you got a story about a little transaction that you had made recently. You shared it with me offline, but I would love to hash that one out.
Okay.
Uh, you made a buy.
I think we can do that. I made a buy. Did I?
Yeah, you did. You bought something yellow. Tell us about it.
I bought some gold in my years of stacking. I have. I
Yep.
have. Is that kind of what you're talking about?
Yeah. What was your price point on the buy?
So after sitting down and doing it, like I'm roughly okay. But before we get into a buy, right? I sold some metals, so
Mm,
I had to sit down and come to a price point after the fact. Sit down. Where are we going to be at if we do make this sell? Right. And I've got it figured roughly between 1925, 1930, somewhere in there for ounces of gold. Right.
mhm.
That's where that's where it's at. Now that's actually kind of high if you think about it, because there's a lot of people out there that watch that have been stacking for a really, really long time, and we're probably buying gold for much, much cheaper than that. Right. And they're
Yep.
probably looking at me like, okay, he's talking about he just sold some gold. He possibly sold some silver too, which I did, and thinking, well, that's really not that much of a return.
Mhm.
Well, let me ask a question this, and maybe it can be answered in the chat or in the comments. What kind of return are you getting just sitting on it?
Yeah. And so I have some thoughts on that. It's
And I'm sure there's going
interesting.
to be.
Yeah, I mean, you got these crypto folks, and they're always going to tell you what they're making. Like, oh, I bought in
Sure.
at this, and now it's worth that. But it's not
And I
until
can
you're
tell you today
sold.
about crypto for myself personally, which I've just again beginning dipping my toes in that just within the past few months. Today was the first day in a long time that everything that I've invested in crypto was green all day to the green, which has been a really long time since I've seen that.
Right.
Not every one of them has been great for the one that I purchased, right?
Right. Yep. Yeah, and I've had times where I bought something. I don't know which coin it was, but it went up 6, 7 grand, and I'm like, oh yeah, it's up, it's up. That's awesome. And then the next day I'm down.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah,
So
for sure.
so can you call it like with gold? You're sitting on a bunch of gold. Can you say you're up if you haven't sold it yet?
No, and that's you can't. I mean, no. The simple answer is no. Yes, it looks nice. Yes, it's a nice figure in your head, but we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. You
Right.
don't know what's going to happen from a week from now, but we do know what happened this past week, right? We know what price. I know what price is at that I sold at $2,400 an ounce for gold. That's what
Did
I
you
sold.
sell it? Did you sell it at spot?
Yeah, yeah. It was at spot price. So
Okay.
this story, right? I've been dealing with this guy for quite a few years as a buyer, seller, swapper, trader, blah blah blah, right? And so this happened. What's today? Today's Thursday. Today is Thursday, April
Mm,
8th, ladies and gentlemen, around 7 p.m. This happened last Friday. Wednesday, I was contemplating doing it. Me and my wife chatted. I said, not only for the content, right? Because we are content creators and it's nice to have fresh new content, and you don't ever hear anybody selling jack. So
mm.
that's not the main reason. So we chatted about it and we hee-hawed around, and I happened to get rained out on Friday. So we sat there right on that couch and hashed it out again, thinking there's really no reason other than to see the profits that were made within that short time, because it doesn't matter. Like anything, you watch the movies where people get robbed in the stock market, right? Because what do? They want to sell you a stock. They want to show you profits. They don't want to give you the profits in your hand. They want you to reinvest those
Right.
profits. And then what happens? Most generally, when you get into a scheme like that, everything's gone. And the only people going to the bank are the people that were selling you the bullshit. Right.
Right. Yep.
It's not good.
Rug gets pulled out on
That's not good. Right. That's not good
you.
at all. So I wanted to know what I was going to be able to sell in a short period of time. That was the reasoning that took 2 days of hashing out between him and I, my
Mhm.
wife and I, my wife and him, to am I going to be able to get these funds today if I need them? I'm in the thumb of Michigan, right? There isn't a coin shop close by. I needed to know if this guy was going to be able to come through for me in a time of need. So the only way to do that was to take the physical metals and put them to him for sale. And then in return, I got fiat back. That's what happened. But what did I
Right.
get in return for selling those metals? I got in return $2,800 on top of the price that I paid for everything. So
Which is
that
which is more than a whole new coin, a whole
for a
new
whole new
ounce.
gold
Yeah.
gold coin. Yeah, at that
Yeah.
time, that's buying a that's putting my money back in the bank, buying an ounce of gold plus $400.
Yep. That's awesome.
I really like to know people's feelings on that. If they're watching now, if they're listening later, leave a comment in the comment section of the video. If you're here watching us live, thanks for being with us. Let us know in that, because we will go back and read those comments as we're going through, have a conversation amongst yourselves here. But I think I made a poll too before we started this. Have you seen that poll? Have you tried selling your metals? The thing is being able to have someone to buy them for the price you want. I was
Right.
happy with the price that I got. Not many people out there will pay you even spot price for 100-ounce bar of silver.
Yeah, you're right. Dealers won't typically, unless there's some kind of shortage, dealers won't even pay spot for a 100-ounce bar. It's too much risk and too much so that kind of leads to the question, and maybe I'll put it out there, and
Sure.
maybe some people are thinking it, just to be very candid on this conversation. Uh, do you feel like, knowing now that spot price has trickled down a little bit, like from the price that it was out, it's probably gone down, I don't know what, like $40. So
Yeah, roughly.
do you feel like you screwed the guy over?
I do not. And I told you this after everything was done. Him and I had that conversation. The last thing he said to me as soon as that deposit hit my account was, watch, spot's going to fall off. And
And what did it do?
typically when I'm the buyer or you're the buyer or anybody listening out there, when you make that purchase, you find like,
Yep.
all right, feels great to make that purchase. You just watch spot fall right off, right? And
Yep.
what happened? It
It
did.
did.
It
Did.
fell. It fell, but what happened? It gained itself back up. We've been in
Yeah.
about the same spot since, it went up over $2,400 for a little bit, then it dropped back down. And you said what we're at right now. Did I write it down? Uh
23.78.
yeah, 23.78 and 28 and some change for silver.
Right.
So that's been about the normal for all week, even since last week's show. It's been right
Right.
about there. We recorded on Wednesday. I made the sale on Friday, so it was above 2,400 on Friday, but right in there close. I feel good that it's holding there, like we talked
Mhm.
about last week. I don't think I feel bad for him, and I don't feel bad for myself one bit.
Right. And I think that speaks to the point that you're selling it on an upward climb. So there is also the chance that it could go up to 2,500. And
Yes,
somebody might say, gold's not going to go to 2,500. But a month and a half ago, gold was at what, 2,000, 2,100 maybe, and now it's at almost 24. So yeah, it's not far fetched to think that it'll go up another 150 bucks,
right.
120 bucks. That could totally happen. And in which case, again, you could have made more.
Dude,
So,
we were talking about the silver's all-time high in 2011. This month silver was at its all-time high of like $49.96 or 76
mhm.
cents or something like that. We got a pretty nasty comment in that last video
Oh,
from
we did.
somebody too, about I can't even watch you guys, you don't know the actual
You
prices.
idiots
Dude,
don't know.
it's like I don't have a teleprompter right here telling me
Yeah.
what to say. There's so much that runs through somebody's head when they're having a conversation that some
Yeah.
numbers just don't stick. But
I'll forgive
I
him.
did bring
I'll
my pen
forgive
and
him.
paper today. Yeah.
That's cute.
No. Oh, he's got a heart and everything on it. Oh, he's forgiven. He's been forgiven.
Yeah. Yeah. I
But
mean,
so just think about that. That's 2011.
yeah.
Silver price was at its all-time high. Here we are sitting in 2024 struggling to get to 30 bucks.
Yep. Yep. Metals can do anything. Metals will do what they want to do. And you look at the ratio, which a lot of people do go by gold to silver ratio. The ratio's fluctuated a lot. I mean, they say historically, but what is historically? You want to go back to Roman times? It was like what,
Yeah.
1 to 8 or something like
Yeah.
that.
Right.
And then today you're looking at what is it, like 80 something to 1? And I'm gonna get a nasty comment for not knowing the exact ratio, but
I
yeah,
bet I
it's
bet you it's like 83 to 86 to 1. Not very long ago, it was just
yeah.
about 90 to 1.
No,
Just about
I
91.
there
And I
was
think
a
Sean
period
was
where it was
talking about
over.
it. It was over. It was like
Yeah,
125 to 1 back
yeah,
during, what is it, pre or just post COVID, either
yep.
or right during, somewhere in there.
For a brief clip, it jumped up like that, over 100 to 1. And these things fluctuate. These prices go crazy, and so there's no way to know. You see these predictions of gold to 3,000. Of course, it could happen. I mean, case in point, within the time that I've been stacking, which hasn't been that long, right? Like I think I started in 2017. I
Mhm.
saw gold at 1,700, and now you're talking 2,400. That's a pretty stinking big jump.
Sure it is.
It's maybe it's not a crypto jump, but you're talking about something that's tangible, something that's divisible, something that can be melted down, made into something else, but it still has its intrinsic value versus crypto, which is speculative.
Very,
And of
very,
course,
very minimal sized.
and gold and silver are also speculative. I get that. But we're talking about
Yeah.
like this is something tangible and it has real world application for electronics, for jewelry, for you don't see I don't have a wedding ring made out of crypto. I have it made out of gold.
Look at my crypto ring.
Right.
Look how I
Hey,
hold
watch,
it.
watch. Somebody's gonna make one now. They're gonna make a ring with a little QR code and say, I keep my ring. I keep my
84 to
money right
1.
here. Yeah.
84 to 1.
That's where we're at.
Yeah.
Right on.
So that's the decision that we all have to make at some point in time. And maybe you're in a position. I didn't think I was ever gonna even go that route, because it just
Mhm.
sits there. It just sits there. I don't ever think about it. And would I be kicking myself in my own ass if it went to 2,500? No,
Right.
because what if he wouldn't have bought it at 2,500? What if he would have told me as the buyer, I'm not buying right now because I'm afraid spot's going to drop. So if
Right.
you did want to sell, I can buy it for 100 under or 50 under. Okay. I'm in a position where I didn't have to do that. But what if I was in a position where I needed that money? Because believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen out there in the world, we still have to spend dollar bills day to day to survive. Well,
That's
most of
right.
us, anyways. Most of us, anyways.
No, you're right.
So it was a great test for me and my wife to know that as of that time, right then and there, we were able to do that if we absolutely had to.
Right.
So there the money sits. It's going to sit there. I'm going to watch the prices. I'm not going to go reinvest that into precious metals right now. I like what it's doing, where it's staying, but my gut feeling just tells me that I'm going to see it drop down again. Just hold on for a little bit. I'm still buying. As a matter of fact, I was on the internet just yesterday, shopping around, happened to run through a deal from bullion exchanges, and I bought,
Mm.
amongst other things, but I did add on one maple, one eagle at spot
Hey,
2024 from bullion exchanges.
that's awesome.
I shared that on Instagram, by the way.
Yep. So,
So
Paulie,
yeah, hit me.
you sold. I would say the method that you sold would be peer to peer with a warm contact or a hot contact, somebody you've known for some time, right?
Yes. Yep.
Have you sold by
4 or
any
5
other
years.
means?
No, not for the reasons of doing that. I have sold in many other groups. I sold and sell here on YouTube in the private
Mm,
membership, and I've got a eBay account. So certain collectibles and things like that, I put
mhm.
up to try and make a little bit of a profit, like on eBay and stuff. But no, there's no, I haven't. Again, I go back to, I don't have a local guy that I can just run up to and say, "Hey, what do you give me?" That's just
Right.
not the area I live in. I could take me 2 hours of a car ride. Hopefully, I don't get an accident.
Yeah.
Hopefully, when I'm in the accident, if something was to happen, somebody doesn't rob my car, see I spilt gold and silver everywhere. You know,
Mhm.
these are all things that run through my head when I'm thinking about moving this stuff from place to place. Like, I need to be very careful while I'm driving, because if something was to happen and I'm unconscious, somebody's going to rob my ass.
Right. And that is the risk, the liability of having a physical high dollar item that you're trying to
That
offload.
nobody knows you have.
Hopefully, hopefully nobody knows you have.
Exactly, but everybody knows what it is once they see
Right.
it.
Yeah. So okay, so let's put ourselves in the shoes of a viewer or a
Okay.
listener. They got some gold in their pocket. They're listening to you saying, you have this gut feeling that it might dip back down, let's say to 2,200, 2,100, something like that. So there would stand to be gained about $150 if they were to offload at spot right now.
Sure.
What means of sales are available to the general public?
Well, number one would be your coin shop, right? If you have a local
Yeah,
coin
if
shop.
you have one.
If you have one,
What about a
that
pawn shop?
would
Eh.
I well, here's the deal, right? Here's the deal. Um, it all depends. I've bought gold from a pawn shop. I was
Right.
and did a video on it. I was in Florida on vacation, went into a pawn shop. He had a $310 price tag on a 1/10 American Gold Eagle. I said, "Look, buddy, here's the price on SD bullion. I can buy it right here, standing in your store. If you match the price, I'll take it off your shelf. If not, I'm leaving." And I forget what the price was. It might have been 225 or $230 or something like that, right?
Right.
He
Right.
he matched the price. He didn't let me leave. He wanted the money.
Right.
Now that's on a sale. So what did he buy that for? Couldn't tell you. But I
Right.
know he just threw a $310 price tag on it to try and make a hell of a profit on it.
Yeah. And you never know what you're going to get with a pawn shop. Living in Florida, there's pawn shops on every corner. And
Sure.
I've dealt with many of them where some of them will give you 40% under spot for precious metals, because all they're going to do is they're going
Wow.
to send it to a refinery to get melted down. There are other pawn shops that actually do understand numismatic value, and they'll give you something much closer to, if not spot, then closer to their like their true value, numismatically at least.
Okay.
And then of course there are the coin shops, the LCSs. But
Yeah.
yeah, if you don't have one, there's nothing wrong with checking a pawn shop, but that's almost always you're going to be at least losing. You'll be going below spot or so close to spot that you might want to look into a different method.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yep.
And which is something like, if you're out there listening now, are you part of any groups like on Facebook or Instagram or Reddit, things like that? Do
Mhm.
you belong to any of those private groups where they are buying and selling precious metals peer to peer, like we talked about? Are you making yourself known in those groups? Are you commenting? Are you having a conversation? Are you getting to know people like you but maybe they are a seller of sorts or a reseller of sorts, but they have
Hmm.
the means, like this friend of mine did, to help you out if you need it. That's also another way.
Right. Yep. And there's also, if you've ever sold to a big bullion dealer, like, I don't know, AppMex, you can sell to AppMex
You
for
can
those of
sell
you
the
who may not
AppMex.
know.
Yes, you
Yeah.
can. You call. I've never done it, but I believe the process is you mail it to them,
Hmm.
they give you a price. I
That's right.
believe that's how that process go. Be like, okay, so we had Pawn Man on here, and he does those remote deals. You
Oh, that's
box up
right.
your stuff, you send it to him, and most of the time he records them, and even the phone call, he gives you an offer. If you accept the offer, he sends you your money, and he keeps your stuff. If you don't, he boxes it right back up, sends it right back to you.
Yep. 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 So those methods are available. Again, if somebody's going to sell, that's got to be their personal decision. Don't take advice from talking heads on YouTube. But you know, there's signs, right? There's going to be signs sometimes, and some people have their convictions. Hold till retirement. That's not a bad idea. But again, where are the metals going to be at the time of retirement compared to like the dollar, the buying power of the dollar? We don't know. It's a crapshoot. So
Honestly, when I started, I don't get into speculation as far as what I think gold's going to be at in 2023 and where silver going to be at in 2025 and stuff like that. I don't talk about it because it's very speculative, great for views, highly
mhm,
speculative. That's not what I do here, or we do here, regardless. Um, I honestly didn't think we would see $2,400 gold for a really,
right.
really long time. We were 27, not 27, 17, 18, flirting with $2,000 is when it was like, man, it was nice when it was 1650 and 1780 and stuff like that for buying
Yep.
purposes. Um, and then it held there for quite a while, and then we just busted through, and here we are today.
Yeah, which I'm not mad about that, because I know, again, if there was some kind of financial emergency on our end,
Yeah.
we're positioned to a place to where if we needed to offload, we'd actually be very much in the green. Again, comes the topic: where do you offload though? And that's why we're having this conversation, so people can kind of put some thought into it. And what you did by selling the gold, you might have critics who say you shouldn't have sold, Paulie, you should have held. But what you just did is you just proved that you can offload a large amount of metals, right? A large amount of high dollar metals to somebody. You could do it quickly and you could do it easily if you need to. So if nothing else, that's like proof of concept.
Yes.
And I remember, and we had this conversation, but I remember when I first started getting into precious metals, those of us who are in very serious long-term relationships, those of us who are married and have been married, and then step into this arena, our spouses aren't always supportive. They don't always understand the concept of,
Takes a
you
bit.
know, transferring the wealth into a different medium. And
Uh-huh.
that's what you're doing when you're switching from fiat to a physical metal, right? And so what you just did is you just proved to your wife that if you need
Yes.
the cash, you can
That's
get it.
that was something that I'm glad you brought up. That was proof and point that these aren't just my little gold
Toys.
coins, or these aren't my little precious gold coins.
Yes.
This has proven to her now that, hey, there's some value there. That wasn't just what he called an American gold eagle. Like, I don't know what the hell an American gold eagle is. It only said $50 on it, but this is what we have now. This is what we made off of that. This is the stuff that you wanted to see that you didn't think I would ever be able to get. That was a great point that you brought up. That
Yep.
was something that had to and almost needed to be done for her peace of mind, that we were
Exactly.
actually doing well with what we have going on. Right?
Right. That convertibility of it, proving the convertibility is a
Yeah.
big deal. And so, we've done that on my end too. And what it does, I almost want to bring it up to the viewers. What it does is it also puts you in, I want to say, in a state of mind or in the practice of being able to let go. Because just like you were saying,
Yeah.
we tend to almost be like mongerers, where we're like, ooh, my precious, right? My precious.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I always joke about, just like I always say, a rule one, never stay attached, right?
Yeah,
And
100%.
people kind of take, they can take offense to that. But you, me, anybody listening, we're all different people. We all know what our goal is, whether it's I can't save cash, so I'm putting it into this stuff so I can get cash back out when I need it, or if it's a savings account because my washing machine broke down and now I I,
Right.
I didn't save the cash, but man, I got a lot of this gold. I can go up to the shop and go buy a new washing machine, stuff like that. But yeah, it's there for a reason at some point, and maybe for some it's just there to have and to hold and just to let go when the time comes to somebody else for nothing. Just they hand me down.
Yep. It's interesting. I heard a quote somewhere saying that and this is kind of off topic. 100 years
Yeah,
from now, your house is going to be owned by somebody else, probably not a family member, right?
sure,
Every
sure.
single item that you ever owned will belong to somebody else or will be completely deteriorated, right?
Yeah,
Every person currently will not exist either. So, you think about mongering a piece of gold, when you could convert it into a medium that you can actually enjoy. You could do something with. Paulie, take a
it's all
vacation, right?
yeah, yeah, it's all options. It's all
Yeah.
options. And I don't disagree with anything anybody's got to say. It's all the choices that we have to make,
Yep.
going off of what you just said. You only live once.
Yeah.
And it's it's nice to see that in the short time that I have been stacking precious metals, that I was able to make somewhat of a profit off of it. Yes, I'm going to reinvest. People don't think I'm out of precious metals, because I'm
Yeah.
not. That money's going to get reinvested into precious metals. But again, we go back to, it was proof and point of what I've been doing kind of behind the scenes, almost solo, because my wife's not right there every time I make a purchase, but she knows I
Right.
made the purchase. I show her the stuff. Oh yeah, that's nice. And then it goes in the safe. But she knows, again, it's just not a little gold coin.
Yep. It's something with value. And
Yeah.
so, which leads us to another topic. Guys, again, you are watching The Crucible. We do have a little giveaway prize that we've been mongering on. But think about this. When we first started the show, gold was probably at what, 19?
Yeah, I would say around that.
Yeah.
I would
And
say around that.
now we're sitting on what, 28, hold on,
20.
28.33. So we did you a favor by
No.
hanging on to this.
Yeah. Yeah. You said you said gold, then you went to silver. Yeah, 28 for silver.
Yeah. So with that said, guys, this is the giveaway item. It's a 5-ounce wood pour. I'm gonna see
And
if I
you're
can
here
get that.
listening to it now live,
Woo.
by the way.
Yeah, if you're watching this live, it's kind of hard to show, but it is a wood poured into wood. It kind of made its own little crackles. Beautiful design. If you're not already registered or signed up to win this, there are 3 ways to win, and we're going to be doing this. I don't know,
Bring that a little
Paulie.
closer.
Yeah,
There
it's
you go.
for some reason it's not my camera's being a little wonky today, but
Okay.
I don't know. What do I do? Like
There it
this?
is.
Yeah, but you can't even
There
see
it
that, man.
is.
It is so
No,
it's pretty though. You gotta trust me on that. It's
it looks
pretty.
good there.
Yeah. So 3 ways to win.
Heck.
Number one, cruciblelive.com. You go on the
He's
website.
looking. He's got cheat notes. He's looking.
Stop watching my eyes, man. Cruciblelive.com. You're going to sign up for the mailing list. That's one way to enter.
One way.
Second way to enter is get on Instagram. Go to at the Crucible Podcast. Third way is we have a dedicated YouTube channel for Crucible Podcasts. That's going to be at the Crucible Podcast. You sign up, subscribe, follow all 3 of those. That's 3 entries. Again, this is a 5-ounce poured piece. So 5 times 28.33. You can do the math on that. It's probably over $130 or so. So yeah, man, good stuff. Get you some silver.
Right on. Get on that. Get on
Get
that.
on it.
Now, before we do take off, I just wanted to ask those who are here, what is it showing? About 16, maybe 17 here. if we did miss it, has anybody actually tried selling any precious metals? Leave that in the live chat right now while you're here. I'm just curious, I guess. What did I do with the poll? Oh, I don't see the poll. Do you got it up on YouTube?
I do not.
Yeah, I'm on StreamYards.
It's all good.
So the poll's not there. But it is what it is. It all worked out.
Yep. Gypsy says sold one time. Yep. Poll is up. Thank
There's a
you.
ballot. All right, cool. I'll check out the poll after the stream. So until next time.
Peace.